Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to work on Module 23, our upper floor walls and detail review. To get started, I'm going to go ahead and open up FrameCAD Detailer. Automatically, Detailer will open up your last Detailer file that you worked on, which is convenient, but if it doesn't open up the right one, go to File, Open, and find your file. We're working on the upper wall frame, so I'm going to go in through my project tree. I'm going to find upper wall frames. I'm going to right click, go to properties. I want to make sure that the elevation is set correctly, right? It needs to be set to 9 foot 2 inches. So if I navigate back to my drawings, I can see right here the first floor walls or lower wall frames are 8 feet tall. My floor system for the second story is going to be 1 foot 2 inches, meaning that the second floor starts at 9 foot 2. So that's where we get that number, 9 foot 2. Make sure you have that. You should also have your floor plan in the correct place. If you'll remember, when we imported these CAD drawings, we had put these focused on the origin. Okay, so if I just test out that theory, type in PL for polyline, my start coordinate is 0, 0. Okay, notice where my polyline is stemming from. Okay, it is stemming from this spot right here. So that's how the second floor is registered or aligned to the first floor. I go to the lower wall frames, test that theory out again, type in PL for polyline, 0, 0. Okay, there it is. Same spot. Okay, it's the bottom left corner of the lower wall frames. And if I go back to upper wall frames, it's the same thing, right? This line, these three lines here represent the walls below. These 3 lines represent the walls below, right? We definitely don't want this whole floor plan moved to the origin from this corner. No, very incorrect. So make sure you have all that set up. I'm going to collapse this and that. All right. Here I am in the upper wall frames. If you have any walls here, I would just delete them and start anew. You shouldn't have any walls here. Let's start with our external wall studio, and then I'm going to click on place frame. I'll start with the south wall. Make sure you have snap end on and turn ortho on. I'm going to snap to this endpoint, and then select the side to grip. It's going to be this side. Not this side, not the middle, this side. That's one wall. That's another wall. That's the third. And we need one more. There we go. There's 4 walls. I'm going to go to this drop-down menu here. Now I want to do the internal walls. So choose Internal Wall Studio. Place frame. I'm going to start with this one here. You can start wherever you want. You can end wherever you want. Just understand that our wall labels may differ if you go in a different order than me. And it's fine if you do. It's not a big deal. This is your project. So I'm going to click down here. I'm snapping the endpoints. I like to try to remain consistent in the orientation of my walls. I want to make sure that maybe all my north-south running walls are the longer ones, and then the east-west ones are sort of sandwiched in between those north-south walls. So that's what I have here with IN2. It is sandwiched by IN1 and EX1. To me, that makes sense because if I were out there on the job site and I keep this consistency through the whole entire project, there's less risk of error. Someone orienting the walls wrong, putting them in the wrong location, just totally messing the whole project up and delaying and That's what I think anyways. So let's finish that up. There we go. 9 internal walls. Make sure you always hit escape a couple times. That ends the command, and it also deselects whatever you may have selected. So the next thing we want to work on now are our properties. So I'm going to come down here to EX1, select it, right click it, go to properties. I'm going to go to, before I head to main, make sure pitch is set to 0 and additional is set to 0. As you can see here, it remembers that 9'2" is where our upper wall frames start. However, I could dictate that this specific wall start even 1 foot additional on top of the 9'2". So if I said 1 foot, down here it would know that it starts at 10 feet 2 relative to my 0 point. So we're not doing that, so I'm going to set it back to 0. Let's head over to our main tab. Make sure this is set to 8 feet tall, 0 pitch, 0 pitching offset, 2 foot stud spacing, stud references, set values. There should be 1 value, 0. If there's no value, add 1, type in 0 inches. If there is a value and it differs from 0 inches, you can edit it and change it to 0 inches. If there are multiple values and you need to get rid of the ones that don't say 0 inches, select that stud reference and remove them. That's it. Click OK. Use nog. Yes, we want to use nog, so keep that checked. Nog heights. We have 1 nog, and we're going to set it at 4 feet, so that's fine. Nog type. We definitely want continuous. No offset for the nogs. Service hole horizontal. Yes, please. Service hole heights, set values. We should have 2, 1 foot and 1'6". Okay, add, remove, edit as needed. Okay. Service hole vertical, bottom plate bolt holes, yes. Automatic dimensioning, yes. 0, 0. Okay, make default. Let's see, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to affect the openings of EX1. So go to the openings tab. If I go back to this drawing, and I check this wall right here, there are 3 openings. 6'2", 1'11", 7'2", 1'8", 6'2", 1'11". So I have 2 openings that are the same exact size, and then a 3rd opening that's a different size. So I'm going to go back, hit the plus button. My head height should always be at 7 feet. The actual height of the window is 6 feet. And the width is 2'11". So we just checked. We know that there are 2 openings of that same exact size. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Make Default. And then pick Feature, pick from Plan. Make sure your snap end is on. Come in, zoom in like this. These represent the frame around the window. So I'm going to go ahead and use those. Click those endpoints. And it'll put an opening right there in the center of those 2 points. Hit the plus sign. All these values will carry over because you had made default. So this is our window off to the right over here. So I'm going to go pick feature, pick from plan, and do this one here. Opening number 2, click, click. And then click the plus sign one more time, and this time we're going to do the door, 7 foot, 2'8". So go back. The height of any door should be the same height as the head height, and then the width is going to be 2'8 inches. Okay. I'm not going to make default, but I'm going to pick feature, pick from plan, and you're going to want to find the door swing of that door from our CAD drawing. Click, and click OK. And that's what you should get. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Let's work on the next wall that has openings. So as we can see from this drawing, there are no openings on the east side. Up here at the top, we have one opening. That's 6 foot 5'10", and then on the west side we have another one opening. So let's work on my EX3. I'm going to click it, properties. Let's go to the openings, click plus. It carries over my window size from earlier because I had said make default, but this window is 6 foot high, so I'm going to say 6 foot high, which it already is, 5 foot 10 inches wide, 5 foot 10 inches wide. Do I need to make default? I don't have any other windows on the exterior with the same size, so no. And pick feature, pick from plan, zoom in, find your endpoints, 1, 2, and click OK. Let's do EX4, properties, openings, plus. This is 2 foot high by 4 foot 11 inches wide, so 2 foot high. This is in the bathroom, so it's not a very tall window, but it's still pretty wide. 4 foot 11 inches wide to be exact. 4 foot 11 inches high. So it's not very tall because it's, this is a private area. You don't want to shower and have your neighbors watch you as you do that. So 2 foot high height, 4 foot 11 inch width. Pick feature, pick from plan. I'm not going to make default. I'm going to zoom in, find my endpoints. Okay, click OK. All right, all openings have been added to the exterior. Hit escape 2 times. Next thing we're going to work on are the openings on the interior. So if I look back at my plan, we have a door that's 7 foot 2.8 and another door on that same wall that's 7 foot 5.4. Now, looking at all of the openings on the internal, I'm going to want to see which one is the most popular opening size, so that way when I start to do that one, I can make that one default and save myself just a little bit of time. So I have 1, 2, 3 closet doors with the same 7 foot 5.4 inch height. And then I have 1, 2, 3 doors with the 7 foot 2 foot 8 inch opening size. So it's pretty even, 3 and 3. So pick whichever one you want to make default. I'll make 7 foot 2 foot 8 my default. So I'm going to come in here, select IN2, right click, properties, openings, plus. This is a door, so 7 feet high. And then the width is 2 foot 8. Make default, pick feature, pick from plan, and I'm clicking right here and right there. Click the plus sign. Okay, I need to change this width value now to 5 foot 4 inches for the closet door. So the height is the same, but the width is 5 foot 4. I will not make that one default. I've already chosen to make this one the default one. Pick feature, pick from plan, and you're going to look for these 2 little nubs. So select that endpoint, and click OK. This wall has the same exact 2 openings, 2 foot 8, 5 foot 4. So I'm going to go to properties, openings, hit the plus sign. This is my 2 foot 8 default opening size right now. So pick feature, pick from plan, and click here and there. Add another opening, change the width to 5 foot 4. Pick feature, pick from plan, find my 2 little nubs, this one here, this one there, and click OK. IN7, properties, openings, plus, 2 foot 2 foot 8 wide, pick feature, pick from plan, and select here and there. Click OK. Just one opening on that one. And then let's do this one here. Openings plus, width, 5 foot 4. Pick feature, pick from plan. Find my 2 nubs. OK. There we go. There's all of the openings on the upper wall frames. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to use a new tool called Frame Break. So under Tools, Frame Break, and there's the little icon for it. Otherwise, it's this one right here. So if I just click this little button, go down to my command line and read it, select frame and point to break. So now I'm going to show you how to take this big long wall and break it into two pieces. So that way it's easier to transport, easier to assemble, easier to move around the warehouse, easier to install. You know, instead of having a big long 50-foot wall, 30-foot wall, let's break it down to at least two walls. So it says to select the frame. It's going to be this one right here. Okay. And, oh, actually, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry. Let me hit escape a couple times. In my project tree, let's go to upper wall frames. Notice this symbol right here next to the name of those walls. It's this little thing and that little thing, and then EX1. So go ahead and select EX1, build the frame. It should look something like that. Click on this drop-down menu and notice the difference, right? EX1 has this symbol, all the other ones have that other symbol. So let's navigate to the next panel and hit Rebuild. And just keep going and rebuilding all of them, even though this is the first time you're building them. Rebuild is just running a very specific frame script, which basically dictates where studs go based off of all of the properties we had chosen previously. So we're just making those panels or frames come to fruition via the settings we had chosen, and we're building them in those ways. So now that I've gone through and built them all or rebuilt them all, here they all are. Okay. Make sure you don't have any that are unbuilt. Go ahead and click this elevation and close it. And here again, we have those same symbols that we saw previously. These are all built now, and you can even see studs all over the place. Don't worry if you see studs in the openings. Those are just showing studs that are probably right above the opening. So now, next thing we want to do is do a frame break command. It's going to be this guy right here. We'll start with our east wall. And I'm going to come down here. We need to both select the frame and the point to break it. You got to do kind of two things at the same exact time to get what you want. And what I'm going to do is I want to make sure I have my snap near on. And with this wall, I'm going to hover my cursor over this wall. And notice there's a little red X. That's my snap near. It's just attaching itself to the edge of things. That's how snap near works. And really what I want to do is I want to break this frame right here where this one intersects it. Before I do, I want to go over these studs that we're looking at. So notice this stud over here, this stud over here, this stud over here. This is called a triple stud detail or a plaster stud detail. And FrameCAD is really good about this. It does it automatically. But basically what happens is, you know, when you go to build this wall and start to put drywall, right, your interior finishes, it could be drywall, plywood, whatever it is, some vinyl covering, some tiling, anything, you're going to want some nailer studs. So let me hit escape a couple times just to drive this point home. I'm going to type in polyline. You do not need to do this part. I'm just going to do it for illustration purposes only. And I'm going to draw a polyline like this, and then I'm going to come this way. Let's use 1/2 inch thick plywood or drywall, And let's come this way, and let's come this way, and let's do member fillet, and we'll fillet this guy to that guy. Oh, let's do fillet, not member fillet. Okay, maybe not. Let's do nope, not member fillet. Let's just do extend. Let's say select object and site to extend to over here. This guy. Let's see. TE. This one. Boy, I'm having a tough time making a rectangle. Okay, good enough. All right, let's pretend this is oh, okay, I have a better idea. Okay, I'm going to show you a sheet of plywall in plan view. So sheet of plywall is about 4 feet. Okay, let's go ahead and move this line over so we can see it all. It's in the closet, offset. Let's use 5/8 inch thick drywall. Offset that. Let's do a polyline. So click there, click there. All right. Let's all pretend that this represents drywall. So I'm gonna grab a couple more sheets. Let's do a sheet here, a sheet there, and a sheet there. All right. So I'm bringing in my drywall. Right. I'm walking it over here. I'm going to come over here and turn ortho off, and I'm going to, as the contractor, I'm going to place my drywall right up against this wall, right? I don't want to see studs all of my life when I open up my closet. I want to see some nice white drywall. Okay, so that's a sheet of drywall. And now I need to attach this drywall to the wall, right? I can't just put screws, you know, in these gaps here where there's nothing there. Technically there are noggins and top plates and bottom plates, but what this triple stud connection does for me is at my edges I can put a screw right through there. Okay, drywall gets attached to this stud right here. Okay, and then I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to trying to spell rotate. All right. Now I got my other piece of drywall. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to shove him against this wall here, right? Just into the interior of this wall right here. So if I draw my other polyline, turn ortho back on, this drywall now attaches to this wall because I've got a stud right there. So that's what this allows me to do. This triple web connection ensures that this drywall attaches cleanly to this wall here. This drywall attaches cleanly to this wall here. If these two studs were not here and they were instead nested somewhere in here, I'd have nothing to attach this to. So that's why this orientation, this triple web stud or plaster stud detail occurs. It's super handy, and it's great that it's just automated by the software. So let's put my other drywall in there, and it works if you orient change the orientation of the drywall itself too. So let's do that, 90 degrees. Grab it from below and put it over here. Okay, So it works whether this is like that or if this one goes there and this guy goes over here. Either way, got my nailer right through here, and I got my nailer right through there. That's what that's doing. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and delete all that stuff. I think I've proven my point. Member break or frame break. Click on this icon here. Make sure you're hovering over this wall. Zoom in nice and close. Snap near. Make sure that's on. Snap right there. What just happened? Escape, escape. I now have 2 walls here instead of 1. That's what happened. I broke that 1 wall into 2 pieces. If I go to my project tree, notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 external walls now instead of 4. Previously I only had 4. So in the place of this external wall here, I now have 2. They both have red X's next to them, meaning that Detailer has identified that those things have changed, and it's going to want me to go to those elevation views to make sure that I like what I see. So undo, undo. So far I like what I see. I'm going to frame break. I'm going to find this external wall right here, and I'm going to break it up from this snap near point. And with the command still active, I'm going to snap this one right here upon where this closet intersects it, down here at the bottom, and click right there. Okay, and let's just leave EX1 for now. I'm not going to break it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red walls, not good. So go ahead and double click EX2. You're going to see a big red X. This red X means you had already built this wall. You did something in the plan view. You've changed it. You've modified it. Please ensure that this is what you want to do. And if it is, we're going to click rebuild, which is just going to run that frame script again for this new size. So click rebuild. Say yes, keep modified non-script items, and there you go. And just continue through. Whenever you see that red X, rebuild. Yes. Next one, rebuild. Next one, rebuild. Next one, rebuild. Next one, rebuild. And that should be it. Okay, I'm looking at my drop-down menu. Everything seems kosher. I'm going to close that down. And now we're going to go over bracing. So I'm going to use this south wall to start with. I'm going to go ahead and double click it. And the bracing command is this guy right here. We like to use K bracing. K bracing looks like this. Click on this top plate. Click on this stick near the noggin. Click on this stick near the noggin. Click on this top plate near this next stick. And there you go. You've got a K-brace. Let's zoom in and look at it closer. This big long green line represents a lip cut. So this stick is going to get its lips sliced right off to allow this brace, this noggin, and this brace to cleanly enter into the space of this stick. Okay. Also, this brace right here and this brace right here have these purple parallel lines. That means that brace and that brace will get swaged. It's going to get squeezed right there so it can even more easily enter this stick here. Notice these little chamfers. Okay. If these chamfers weren't here, these bracing pieces would be too long, right? And it wouldn't be able to sit proper. So it's actually going to get chopped off right there. And then, of course, one of our favorite tools is the dimple. Okay, so this brace gets dimpled and the stick gets dimpled. So aligning these two pieces and these two pieces together is not going to be a problem. Those dimples act as alignment tools out in the field, so it's awesome. This double line here represents the web of the stud. This double line here is the web of the stud, web of the stud. Notice that because these service holes are where we had asked them to be, right? These two are 1 foot, 1 foot 6 inches, going vertically, spaced evenly in between studs. Because we added that new bracing member, it's gonna get punched out right here with a service hole. And this noggin gets a service hole, and this brace member gets a service hole. So FrameCAD is automating a lot of those things based off of settings we've chosen. So with the brace command still active, I'm going to add more braces where I think I can. Where, you know, I'm not going to put one in this tiny bay here, but I've got plenty of room right here. Okay, so notice the difference. I'm gonna end the command 2 times with the escape, and I'm gonna zoom into this connection. Notice this, the way this is oriented. Okay, what is that big red line? That is called a web notch. Remember, these 2 lines represent where the web of the stud is. This red line means it's being notched or cut out right there. The web is being cut out because this stick is the web of this stick is facing the web of this brace, and so you have the backs of 2 sticks intersecting with each other. Realistically, you want this brace member to enter into this stick through the open face, not through the closed face. And if you do it through the closed face, one of them has to get notched out on the web. Okay, and this is a very poor detail. Screenshot this in your minds and remember, bad. Go back to this one. This is different, right? Green, lip cut. This stud is open faced here. This brace open faced here. Go back. Oh, wow. Back of the stud, back of the stud, back of the stud, back of the stud. So they both have their backs turned to each other. We want to fix that, and the easiest way to fix that is using a tool called Flip Stick. Tools, Flip Stick, select the stick to flip, and we're going to take ST9, click it, and then I'm going to zoom in while this happens so we can see the difference. You just select that stick and then hit enter. And voila. Now your bracing enters the open side of this stick super cleanly. Now this and this don't need huge web notches, which potentially could jam the machine. And now they enter via the slip cut and this slip cut, and these bracing members also get swaged. So that is a much better detail. Okay, whenever you run into that, make sure that this stud is open to accepting bracing that wants to attach to it. All right. Continue adding bracing to your external walls. We're not going to add any to our internal walls. Make sure that your bracing is entering into open sides of sticks. You're going to have to reinitiate the command every time you move between frames, by the way. It does matter where you click, by the way. So if I clicked here and then clicked here, it's different, right? If I click here and here, that's totally not what I want. So I'm going to undo those two things. And the trick is to select a vertical and then a horizontal. Okay, and they're always perpendicular to each other. Make sure it's going into the open side of the stick. Let's go to EX4, bracing. Sometimes you may not have the opportunity to put bracing. Personally, I would not put bracing here. It's just too tight. You gotta get your driver in there. You're just gonna make it harder on your team. Don't do it. Check that out. We have another condition in which back of stud. So we need to make sure to go back and fix that. Escape. You might be thinking, why are there so many sticks here? Well, this used to be a wall that was maybe this size. So we just broke it up. So now it's this size. And also it's likely intersecting with an internal wall. So this is EX4. If I close this, escape. Here it is right here. That's EX4. It's got two internal walls that are butting up against it, meaning that it needs two triple web stud details. So 1, 2, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total studs in a very close proximity. That's just what needs to happen. It ensures that we get that nice plaster stud detail. So back to EX4. Let's solve that original issue. FS to flip stick. Select that stick. Enter. Done. Okay, now it's going to go into a nice open and accepting stick. Much better. Let's keep going. Be very careful not to have it enter through a closed face. Have our bracing enter a closed face. Place brace. Okay. You can add as many of these as you wanted to. If you really, really wanted to, you could do something kind of wasteful like this to add tons of rigidity. The fallback from doing something like this is you're now adding more structural load. You're over-engineering a wall, first of all, but even just by weight, right? You've just increased the weight of this wall, which is going to affect the wall below it. So there is such a thing as too much. I gotta go delete all these. Notice the labeling is changing as I'm removing and adding things. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I delete number 3, everything else changes because of it. Pretty cool. All right. Once you make it to your IN or internal walls, don't put bracing, please. That's unnecessary. We'll always treat the internal walls as non-load bearing. So let's hit close. All right, zoom out and check it out. Let me make sure I went over everything I needed to. Got the bracing done, check. Okay. Now we're at the point of the exercise where if you do have detailer available to you, go ahead and follow the next few steps. However, if you're dependent on the computers at the school, and if they don't have if they don't have the SAP Visual Enterpriser viewer installed yet, you're going to go ahead and skip this part. If you don't have your own personal computer, if you're dependent on the computers at school, you may skip this part. since we don't have SAP Visual Enterpriser. If you do have your own computer and you do have access to SAP Visual Enterpriser, you must do this. File, oops. First of all, I should have been saving as I went along, but let's change this date, 250515. Assignment number 23. Hit save. Make sure you save often because you never know what's going to happen. And file, export 3D VRML. Choose the spot to where you want to put your 3D VRML. I prefer putting it in the same folder where the FrameCAD detailer file is. So I'm going to navigate to that. OCC, let's go to 2023. No, sorry, 2024. Kind of using my old files. Fall 2024. Studio 1 and 2, Studio 2.1, VRML. Or am I not? I kind of forgot. Spring 2025, 121, FrameCAD Studio 1, VRML. That's where I want to put it. Put these files exactly where you can find them later on. Okay? It's super important you do that. Okay. Make sure you select all, export. Now, oops. Trigger happy. File. View 3D. Navigate to where you saved it. That's the trick. All right, check the date, 5/15. That's today. Go and double click on that. And then it should look like this. I always navigate to this far right side of this window and change this from orbit to turn. It's just way easier to use. And that's what it looks like. If yours looks like that, good job. Okay. Something going on with my floor. My floor is a little too flat. So let me fix that real quick. Upper floor joists. For some reason they're not built. Gonna build frame. Doop, doop, doop. Thankfully I had a lot of cloning going on, so I don't have like 70 unique things. I have like 8 that I really need to care for. Okay, I've built those all. Everything's built. Don't have any of those weird non-built symbols. File, export, 3D VRML. Put it in that same folder that I put it in last time, just minutes ago. Select all, export. All right, if we go back, oops, I closed it. Let's go File, View 3D. Open up the new 3D. Now, this is what it should look like. That's a little bit better. I still need to fix the openings on my first floor walls, but otherwise, everything looks pretty good. Let me do that real quick. Lower wall frames. Right click properties. Let's go here. 6 foot 5'10", 2 foot. So I have 4 of these ones here. So let's do openings plus 6 foot tall, 2 foot 11. Make default, pick feature, pick from plan. Snap, snap, plus pick feature from plan. Snap, snap, plus pick feature, pick from plan, plus pick feature, pick from plan. All 4 of these are the same exact size, as you all know. Number 5, I'm going to go with this guy over here. Probably Should have started with that one as 1, but in the end, it doesn't matter what number these openings are as long as they get labeled. So 6 foot high, 5 foot 10 wide, 5 foot 10. I'm going to make that one a default. Pick feature, pick from plan, zoom in, snap, snap. New opening, pick feature, pick from plan, snap, snap. And now my entry door, double doors, so 7 foot tall, 5 foot 4. No make default, pick feature, pick from plan, snap, snap. Hit OK. Okay. Go ahead and rebuild this one. Okay, close it. File. Export 3D VRML. This dialog box is always going to remember your last choice for where you chose to put your VRML, so that's kind of handy. I can just kind of breeze through that part. And here we go. Turn. Now everything looks correct. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you in the next one.